If you're over 60, your breakfast could be quietly sabotaging your heart, your energy, and even your brain. And 99% of seniors don't know it's happening. You think you're eating healthy. You think oatmeal is safe. Doctors praise it as the gold standard breakfast. But here's the truth. The way you're eating it could raise your blood sugar by up to 48%, block over 60% of your iron absorption, and even trigger inflammation inside your arteries. All before lunch. This isn't fear-mongering. It's science. Study after study has shown that certain foods, even ones considered healthy, create chemical collisions with oatmeal. Instead of working together, they clash in your gut, stripping nutrients, stressing your insulin response, and leaving you tired, inflamed, and more vulnerable to disease. The shocking part? Some of these foods are the exact ones you've been told to eat more of as you age. It's a hidden breakfast chain reaction happening every morning in kitchens around the world, and the number one worst offender. A food celebrated for bone strength and heart health. Yet, when combined with oats, research shows it can slash iron absorption by over 60% and spike inflammatory markers in just 2 hours. Before you take another bite, see this list, ranked from least risky to most dangerous, so you can stop sabotaging your oatmeal. The information in this video is backed by real science. We've spent hours digging through peer-reviewed research, and every single reference is linked in the description below. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, what's your favorite oatmeal topping? You might be shocked where it ranks. Let's start with one that seems harmless, even refreshing, but can quietly keep your blood sugar high for hours. Number 7. Citrus juices, like orange or grapefruit juice. At first glance, a glass of orange juice alongside your morning oatmeal sounds like the perfect breakfast duo. You've got the vitamin C from the juice and the cholesterol-lowering beta-glucans from the oats. But here's the twist. When citrus juices, especially orange and grapefruit, meet the soluble fiber in oatmeal during digestion, they can create a digestive bottleneck that works against you. The acidity in these juices slows the breakdown of starches in oats, which can sound like a good thing if you're trying to keep your blood sugar steady. But for seniors, it can backfire. The delay in starch digestion often causes a prolonged rise in blood sugar that can last hours, instead of a short, manageable bump. In a 2020 study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, participants over the age of 60 who consumed a high-acid beverage with a starchy meal saw blood sugar levels remain elevated for up to 3 hours longer than those who drank water. That kind of sustained elevation puts more stress on insulin production and increases inflammation in the bloodstream. There's another issue. Citrus juice, especially grapefruit, can interfere with enzymes in your liver that help break down medications. This is already a known warning for people taking blood pressure or cholesterol drugs, but when you combine it with the natural enzyme-blocking compounds in oats, the interaction can be amplified. That means the medicine you rely on might stay in your system longer than intended, raising the risk of side effects. Grapefruit juice in particular contains furanocoumarins, which inhibit the CYP3A4 enzyme, and in older adults, the effect can be more pronounced because liver processing speed is already reduced with age. If you really enjoy citrus, the best way to get its benefits without the downsides is to separate it from your oatmeal by at least 2 hours. That way, the vitamin C still boosts your immune system, but you avoid the prolonged blood sugar rise and potential drug interactions. You can also try eating whole citrus fruits instead of juice, as the fiber in the fruit itself slows absorption and reduces the acid load. Just remember, your oatmeal works best when it's not fighting a chemical battle with your breakfast drink. Now, if citrus juice seems surprising, wait until you see what's next. A food most people think is a protein boost, but can quietly undo oatmeal's heart health benefits. Number 6. Flavored protein powders. Adding a scoop of protein powder to oatmeal seems like a win-win. You get the slow-digesting carbs from the oats and the muscle-supporting protein in one quick bowl. But flavored protein powders, especially those with sweeteners, gums, and artificial flavoring, can create a combination that's rough on the digestive system and counterproductive for nutrient absorption. Most commercial protein powders contain additives like xanthan gum, carrageenan, and sucralose. On their own, your body can usually handle them in small doses, but when they're combined with the soluble fiber in oatmeal, they can lead to bloating, slower gastric emptying, and a feeling of heaviness that lingers for hours. This happens because the soluble fiber in oats already thickens and slows the movement of food through your stomach. Add in the thickening agents from protein powders, and you essentially double that effect. In a 2019 study published in the Journal of Gastrointestinal Nutrition, participants who consumed high-viscosity meals experienced a 27% longer gastric emptying time compared to low-viscosity meals. For younger people, this might simply feel like fullness, but for seniors, it can mean sluggish digestion, discomfort, and even reduced appetite for the next meal, leading to unintentional calorie deficits over time. There's also the issue of artificial sweeteners. Many flavored protein powders use sucralose or asulfame potassium. Studies, including one in the journal Cell Metabolism in 2022, have shown that artificial sweeteners can alter gut microbiome balance within just 2 weeks, reducing populations of beneficial bacteria. When you pair that with oatmeal, which relies on those very gut bacteria to ferment its beta-glucan fiber into heart-healthy compounds, you may actually be undermining one of oatmeal's best benefits. If you need extra protein, a better approach is to choose an unflavored, additive-free powder, ideally made from wheat isolate, pea protein, or hemp protein. These mix more cleanly into oats without creating that overly thick texture, and they won't add the chemical load of sweeteners and gums. Another option is to cook your oats in milk or add a side of eggs for a natural protein boost. This way, you get the muscle support you need without slowing your digestion or harming your gut health. Speaking of things that seem healthy but secretly clash with oatmeal, the next one is a breakfast favorite that can strip away one of the oats' key heart benefits. Number 5. Butter and heavy cream. For many people, a pat of butter melting over warm oatmeal or a swirl of heavy cream feels like pure comfort. The rich flavor, the creamy texture, it turns a plain bowl into something indulgent. But when you mix high saturated fat dairy like butter or heavy cream with oatmeal, you can actually block one of oatmeal's most famous health benefits, its ability to lower LDL cholesterol. Oats are rich in beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that forms a gel in the gut and binds to cholesterol particles, helping your body flush them out. However, when a meal is very high in saturated fat, the digestive process changes. Instead of binding to cholesterol, the beta-glucan ends up mixing with fats in a way that reduces its ability to do its job. A 2017 study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that when beta-glucan was consumed with a high-fat meal, its cholesterol-lowering effect dropped by nearly 40% compared to when it was eaten with a low-fat meal. For seniors, who are often more concerned with heart health, this is a big deal. That creamy oatmeal might taste great, but it's no longer giving you the full heart protective effect you expect. There's also the matter of calorie density. Butter and heavy cream pack a lot of calories into a small volume, and they don't have the fiber or protein to keep you feeling full for very long. Combine that with oatmeal's natural ability to digest slowly, and you can end up with a meal that feels heavy, but still leaves you puckish later in the day. For seniors watching weight or blood lipid levels, that's a double strike. If you want creaminess without the downside, try stirring in unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or low-fat dairy instead. You can also blend in mashed banana or cooked pumpkin for natural thickness and sweetness. These options keep the beta-glucan working effectively while still giving your oatmeal that rich, satisfying texture. And if you do want to enjoy butter or cream occasionally, have them in small amounts and separate them from your oat-based meals. That way, you can enjoy the flavor without undoing the heart benefits you're counting on. Now, while fats can blunt oatmeal's cholesterol-lowering powers, the next food can cause a surprising spike in blood sugar that turns your healthy breakfast into a sugar rush. Number 4. Sweetened dried fruits. Raisins, cranberries, dates. These are often seen as wholesome, natural sweeteners for oatmeal. They add chewiness, bursts of flavor, and a boost of vitamins and minerals. But when these dried fruits are sweetened, meaning they've been coated with added sugar during processing, they can quickly turn your breakfast into a blood sugar bomb. Oatmeal on its own has a low to moderate glycemic index, which means it releases sugar into your bloodstream slowly. But when you throw in sweetened dried fruits, you're stacking fast-digesting simple sugars right on top of slow-digesting starches. The result is a double spike. One hit from the added sugars almost immediately, and another delayed surge as the oats break down. A 2015 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adding high glycemic toppings to a low glycemic base meal increased post-meal blood glucose levels by up to 48% in older adults. This effect can be especially problematic for seniors with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, where keeping blood sugar steady is crucial. The quick spike can also lead to a crash later in the morning, leaving you tired, irritable, and craving more sugar. There's another hidden problem. Sweetened dried fruits often contain preservatives like sulfites to keep their color and texture. While generally safe in small amounts, sulfites can cause digestive discomfort, headaches, or even respiratory irritation in sensitive individuals. And when you combine them with oatmeal's natural fiber load, they can cause bloating or gas that's uncomfortable for the rest of the day. If you love the flavor and texture of dried fruit, the fix is simple. Choose unsweetened versions and use them sparingly. Even better, soak them in warm water before adding them to your oats. This rehydrates the fruit, dilutes the natural sugars, and helps release some of the compounds that can cause digestive issues. You can also swap them for fresh fruit, which comes with more water and less concentrated sugar, helping to balance the meal's glycemic load. The goal is to let your oatmeal work for you, keeping your blood sugar stable and your energy smooth, rather than setting you up for a roller coaster ride before lunch. But sugar isn't the only culprit. Up next is a topping that looks innocent, yet can quietly rob your body of essential minerals when eaten with oats. Number 3. Raw spinach. It's easy to think tossing a handful of fresh spinach into your oatmeal will supercharge it with iron, magnesium, and antioxidants. Spinach is a powerhouse on its own after all. But when eaten raw alongside oatmeal, it brings a sneaky problem: oxalates. These are naturally occurring compounds found in certain leafy greens, and spinach is one of the highest sources. Oxalates bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, forming insoluble crystals that your body can't absorb. Oats already contain phytic acid, another compound that binds minerals. So when you combine raw spinach with oatmeal, you create a double barrier to nutrient absorption. In practical terms, that means the iron you think you're getting from spinach and the magnesium and calcium from other parts of your diet might be passing right through your system unused. A 2013 study in the Journal of Food Science and Technology found that consuming high oxalate vegetables with high phytate grains reduced calcium absorption by up to 53% and iron absorption by 42%. For seniors, who often already face lower mineral absorption due to age-related changes in digestion, this can contribute to deficiencies over time, impacting bone density, muscle function, and energy levels. There's also a kidney health angle. In sensitive individuals, high oxalate intake can increase the risk of kidney stones. And while not everyone is prone to them, the risk rises with age, dehydration, and certain metabolic conditions. Pairing a large serving of raw spinach with oatmeal every day could raise that risk further. The good news is you can still enjoy spinach with your oats. You just need to change how it's prepared. Cooking spinach, whether by steaming, sautéing, or boiling, can reduce oxalate levels by 30 to 80%, depending on the method. Lightly wilting spinach before adding it to oatmeal helps preserve most of its nutrients while lowering oxalates enough to make a difference. You could also enjoy your spinach in a separate meal, away from high phytate foods like oats. so your body has a better chance of absorbing the minerals. Oatmeal is at its best when it's not competing with other foods for nutrient uptake, and raw spinach, as healthy as it sounds, can quietly make that competition fierce. Now, if leafy greens can be tricky, wait until you hear about the next one, because it's a breakfast staple that can set off a chain reaction in your stomach you won't want to repeat. Number 2. Yogurt with added fruit flavors. At first glance, yogurt and oatmeal seem like a match made in breakfast heaven. The creamy tang of yogurt balances the warm, nutty oats, and you get probiotics for gut health along with the fiber that feeds them. But the problem starts when that yogurt is the sweetened, fruit-flavored kind you find in most grocery stores. These products are often loaded with added sugars, stabilizers, and sometimes even artificial colors. When mixed into oatmeal, this combination can wreak havoc on your blood sugar and digestive balance. Fruit-flavored yogurts typically contain between 10 and 20 grams of added sugar per serving, sometimes more. Combine that with the natural carbs from oats, and you're looking at a high glycemic meal that floods your bloodstream with glucose. A 2016 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that when older adults consumed a high-sugar dairy product with a starchy base, post-meal blood sugar rose 38% higher and stayed elevated for longer compared to when they ate plain dairy. This prolonged elevation forces your pancreas to produce more insulin, which over time can make it harder to keep blood sugar under control. There's also a hidden issue with how probiotics interact with high sugar content. Beneficial gut bacteria thrive on fiber and certain prebiotics, but excessive sugar can encourage the growth of less beneficial microbes, tipping the balance of your gut microbiome. And because oatmeal's beta-glucan fiber is one of the best foods for feeding good bacteria, pairing it with a sugar-heavy yogurt can create mixed signals for your gut, nourishing both the good and the bad microbes at the same time. If you truly want the benefits of yogurt with your oats, the solution is to go unsweetened. Choose plain Greek yogurt or plain regular yogurt and add your own fresh fruit if you want sweetness. That way, you control the sugar content and keep the probiotics working for you, not against you. You can also stir in a drizzle of honey or maple syrup if needed, but keep it light, just enough to balance the tartness without overpowering the meal. This small change keeps your blood sugar stable, your digestion smooth, and your gut health thriving. And now we've reached number 1, the food that shocked researchers with how severely it stripped nutrients from oats while sparking inflammation, all in a single meal. Number 1, cow's milk, high-calcium dairy. This one surprised almost everyone. For decades, milk has been sold as the perfect breakfast partner: strong bones, protein for muscles, and a creamy base for your oats. But when it comes to pairing with oatmeal, the science shows a hidden downside that's especially important for seniors. Oats are rich in non-heme iron, the plant-based form of this essential mineral. Non-heme iron is already less efficiently absorbed than the heme iron found in meat, and it's highly sensitive to dietary interference. Calcium, found in abundance in cow's milk, competes directly with iron for absorption sites in your intestines. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that when high-calcium dairy was consumed in the same meal as a non-heme iron source, iron absorption dropped by as much as 60%. For seniors who are already at higher risk of iron deficiency anemia due to reduced stomach acid and slower digestion, this is a significant hit. That means your morning oats might be giving you far less iron than you think, especially if you top them with milk every single day. But there's more. When researchers at a European nutrition conference tested blood samples after meals combining high-calcium dairy with high-phytate grains, like oats, they noticed a spike in inflammatory markers within just 2 hours. The proposed mechanism was that the combined mineral binding effect of calcium and phytates led to reduced availability of certain anti-inflammatory micronutrients, triggering a mild but measurable immune response. Over time, repeated low-level inflammation is linked to higher risk of cardiovascular disease, joint issues, and even cognitive decline. This doesn't mean you have to give up milk altogether. It means separating it from your oatmeal can make a big difference. If you love milk, have it with another meal or as a standalone drink later in the day. For oatmeal itself, consider alternatives like fortified almond milk, oat milk, or soy milk, which have less calcium per serving and don't compete with iron absorption in the same way. You'll still get a creamy texture, but you'll protect the iron in your oats and reduce the risk of triggering that hidden inflammatory response. Your morning oats should be working for you, not against you, and swapping out cow's milk could be the single simplest change with the biggest payoff. So, here's the bottom line. Oatmeal can be one of the most powerful breakfasts you'll ever eat, but only if you let it work the way it's meant to. The wrong mix-ins can silently strip away nutrients, trigger blood sugar swings, slow your digestion, or spark low-grade inflammation that chips away at your health over time. And the scariest part, most of these food combinations look healthy on the surface, which is why they slip past our radar. But now you know the truth, and you have the power to fix it starting with your very next bowl. The action step is simple. Keep oatmeal clean. Pair it with fresh fruits, nuts, seeds, and low-calcium, low-sugar liquids. Separate certain foods by a couple of hours if you still want to enjoy them. And remember, small, smart changes add up fast. Within weeks, you can improve nutrient absorption, stabilize your energy, and get the most from every spoonful. Your health after 60 depends on daily habits, and breakfast sets the tone for your entire day. So don't let a single harmless mix-in undo all the good you're trying to do. Make these swaps, stick with them, and you'll feel the difference, not in years, but in days. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Did any of these surprise you? Have you been mixing any of these foods into your oats without knowing? Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments, because your story might help someone else make a life-changing tweak to their breakfast routine. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button so more people can see it. And if you're serious about protecting your health and energy as you age, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got more eye-opening, science-backed tips coming your way that can transform how you eat, move, and feel, starting first thing in the morning. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.